Hi, I'm Tom. This is Mina, and this is Kitty Help Desk. So today I just wanted to talk about a difficult subject, and that is what can you do if you feel you can no longer afford to care for your cat? There are cats who are relatively trouble-free. Miss Mina here is not one of them. She has had quite her share of vet bills over the years, and those can really mount up, and the prices are going higher and higher every day. The costs of quality pet food is going higher every day. And, oftentimes things change unexpectedly for us. That we maybe thought we had, enough money to take care of them, and then turns out that we don't. And that's a tough place to be, to suddenly realize that you can't care for someone that you really love and care for. It's important to understand that there are a lot of people out here who empathize and who understand what that feels like and don't want to make you feel worse about your decision. So I just want to talk through some of the options, okay? The first option that most people are going to think of is just giving up the pet, surrendering the pet to a rescue. And that's absolutely acceptable. When you make that decision, it's with the best interest of the pet in mind. That most people don't want to give up a pet. Now, there are people who don't spay or neuter their pets. They end up with an unexpected brood of kittens, and they need to get rid of them, and they do awful things. That does exist in the world. But I feel really strongly that if rescues are approaching this problem with open arms and kindness, that it's much more likely that people who need to surrender pets will do so in a positive way so that those pets can get the care that they need ongoing. They're not neglected. They're not ditched. They are handed over into a loving situation where they may very well find another loving home. And those are all positive things. There are those rescues out there that will try to talk you out of a surrender. They will do what they call an intake interview, and they will work around the problem. My feeling is that by the time you've gotten the cat in a carrier and you're at the rescue, it's really the wrong time for counseling. So the right time for counseling is now when you're watching this video and you're thinking about, what are my options? What do I do? So I want to offer you some other options that may not sway your opinion, but it may just open your eyes to some other things that are available to you, some other routes that are available to you. So first of all, there is a website called pethelpfinder.org. That's a great resource if you need help obtaining pet food. There are a number of specialized help agencies across the United States, especially in urban areas. Most of them, they're more focused in urban areas, but they are there to offer pet food as a resource. I know when I did a little work at the Humane Society, they had a whole sort of food distribution program where they got donations of food from some big pet food manufacturers, and they donated that out to needy families that had pets that they were caring for. I don't know exactly what the parameters for that were or how you qualify for that, but it never seemed like anyone was unhappy with that situation. I never heard of anyone complaining that they didn't get it or whatever. I'm sure each one's a little different, but if you go to pethelpfinder.org, you can find a lot of different resources and kind of just start going down the list in your area and trying to see if there's anyone there that may help you. Now, in addition, you may want to check local food banks. If you go to foodfinder.us, that's a resource that shows you food banks across the country, and many food banks actually bank pet food as well. Now, you can't be really picky about the food that you get, but they are willing to supply you with food that will help your cats survive until you get back on your feet. And that's really what this is all about. The other resource that I would stress is veterinarians. Now, if you can't afford to feed your pets, then you may not have seen a veterinarian in a while. That's okay. It doesn't mean that they're not willing to help you. In fact, what I would say is call a local veterinarian and see if the people who work there, you don't even have to talk to the vet, but you may want to just talk to the people there, or even go there and talk to the people that work the counter or some of the vet techs. See what they know, because they are exposed to a lot of the options that are going on in your community. And they may know that there are resources there that aren't even listed on these websites that I'm mentioning. There may be a variety of resources. They may also know of someone who might be willing to foster your pet in an interim kind of situation, so you could have someone take care of them until you get back on your feet, and then you could bring them back into your home again so you don't lose them. Really, at the end of the day, the goal, I feel, is for the pet to stay in your home, because it's hard enough to find a home for pets, and you already care for them and love them. In most cases, if you're looking at this video, you probably do. And so, you know, if someone can help you to keep that pet in your home, I think that's the best thing for everybody. And then if you decide that that's not the best option, or that you can't find a way to do that, then surrendering them is absolutely acceptable. The last thing I will say is that if anybody gives you a hard time about this, makes you feel guilty, I think you should reach out to local message boards and post your experience, because I don't think that's fair to you. And I know you've got other things on your mind, or you wouldn't be in the middle of this, but it's very important that the people who indulge in that kind of shaming, I think it's important that they get the feedback that they deserve. And I don't mean being mean to them in return. I mean letting them know the bigger picture and letting them in on, you know, the reasons why these surrenders often happen, and how the surrender is ultimately beneficial to the animal. So, if you'd like more details, please enter comments below. I'm happy to provide anything I might know on the subject, or to help you find more resources. I hope you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.